it's the 28th of March and we're in this winter wheat field. So this guy got everything kind of in correctly. He got the manure on right around the 15th to the 20th of February, so he fed it and then came back again around the 20th of March and gave it 150 pounds of fertilizer. So the coloration of the winter wheat, this is what it should look like. Most people now, I would say probably 90% of the people have their fertilizer on the winter wheat. So this is Wednesday, the 27th of March. Really important to make sure if you haven't got it on the winter wheat, you got to get it on ASAP because we want to get the maximum crop out. Everybody's bunkers are pretty well empty of grass and forages. This is by far the cheapest way. I had one guy say, well, I put manure on, so I'm not going to put fertilizer on. I think it's a mistake. In a year like this year, you got to make sure you put that 150 pounds of nitrogen on to get it this kind of a color, that shiny, dark green. All these varieties that we put in here between the wheat and the Italian ryegrass, they're called nitrogen scavengers and they're always looking to be fed. So that's why if we can feed them around the middle of February with the manure, the middle of March, the 20th of March with the fertilizer, and then we're going to cut them again around the 25th of April to the first couple days of May. We want to make sure that fertilizer is on ahead of time so it has as much chance to grow as possible. Take a look. If your winter wheat field looks a bit pale, you just got manure on it, make sure you spend the money and put the fertilizer on. Really going to make a difference this year. Okay, so we've gone out of the winter wheat field and now we're in an orchard grass fescue mix. So this field now is ready for fertilizer. A week ago or 2 weeks ago when we fertilized the wheat grows a lot faster at a lower temperature. That's why it's very important to put the fertilizer on the wheat first, then come back to the grass. Just in the last, I'd say week, the grass now has cut in and now it's starting to grow. So now we want to make sure we put the fertilizer on. To get the best value of the fertilizer, 150 to 200 pounds of 4000, we want to put it on at least 30 days before we're going to cut. So if now is the 27th, 28th of March, we want to make sure that if we're going to cut the 5th or 6th or 8th of May at the latest before the heads start heading out on the orchard grass, we want to give it that 30-35 days to get the maximum value of the fertilizer. Urea goes on and then has to change over to ammonium nitrate. That takes about 4 or 5 days in that process. And then the plant has to pick it up and then multiply the tissues out with it as well too. So really important to make sure you put the fertilizer on at least 30-35 days before harvest to get the maximum tonnage back out. And a year like this year, again, we want to make sure that we get as much yield per ton per acre of forage coming off as we possibly can. So this upcoming Saturday looks like a break in the weather. Today's Wednesday, it's sunny, but the fields are still a bit wet. So this guy's probably going to come in on Saturday and then probably put the fertilizer on. And then the next week it looks like it's going to rain again too. So again, we get these little windows and we have to jump on it because if we miss it, and we're putting the fertilizer on the 15th of April, then wanting to cut the first couple days of May, you're just not getting the value and the tonnage back out of your fertilizer value again. Let's try and get as much forage as we possibly can to fill our bunkers back up this springtime.